The news summary, good evening. Construction on the first phase of the Victoria waterfront project is set to start in January 2024. It was the CEO of the Seychelles Investment Board who made this declaration during a press conference this afternoon. More than 28,000 square meters has been allocated by the government for the project, which covers the ex-playground area as well as the area at the Marine Charter and Yacht Club. Also present for the press conference was the Principal Secretary for Lands, the CEO of ESSA, and the Executive Director of the Mayor's Office. P.S. Morgan said that a budget of $45 million has been estimated for the first phase of the project.
We're going to have an area for food trailers, which would allow for people who are currently operating within their food trailers to have a space for themselves. Over and above that, we're having a food court, which will allow for people who want to develop to the next level from a food trailer to be able to do so on the same location. We are going to be having commercial interests, and when I'm saying commercial, I'm talking small all the way through to big businesses will all be able to integrate themselves in the concept. A marina, a big cultural center, as well as a completely pedestrianized concept. The idea is that it becomes an entertainment hub of Victoria for all, not just singles, couples, families. Depending on what type of activity that you want to do in Victoria, you should be able to, within the new waterfront concept, find yourself in there.
Work to maintain the rivers and drainage around Victoria to prevent any future flooding is going according to plan. The Victoria Flooding Committee that was created after the sudden disaster back in March of this year visited key areas around Victoria.
The rivers visited were Moussa, Mintry, Saint-Louis and La Poudrière. The committee also assessed the work in progress at the Quebec or Kiné and Rochon rivers in Montfleury district. The aim is to see where improvements should be done to prevent future flooding. Telecommunication companies and PUC are cooperating by tidying the cables, but it needs to be sorted out and color-coded. Now that the removal of silt and debris is completed and overgrown plants have been removed, a work costing some 3 million rupees, Landscape and Waste Management Agency, LWMA, will take up the responsibility of maintaining these sites. The Seychelles Infrastructure Agency continues to assess structures inside, around and above rivers that may obstruct the flow of rivers during a heavy rainfall, resulting in a flooding. With regards to existing structures above rivers, they are a hindrance when it comes to desilting the rivers, causing a rise in the cost of desilting work. The Seychelles Infrastructure Agency will be working with owners of such structures to see how they can work around the situation. As for the situation at Montfleury, work to build a wall at the lower end of Rochon River will be starting next month.
The Parliament Speaker from the Maldives have paid a courtesy call to President Waiver Ramkalawan today at State House. During discussions, they touched various subjects that can benefit both countries, such as the environment. The former Maldives president was invited to the state visit by Speaker of the National Assembly, Roger Mancienne, who he will be visiting on Thursday.
We discussed matters that would benefit both our countries, especially the environment, and to do with the coral as well. We are going to have a coral festival in the Maldives next year. I invited the president to come. We also requested the president and Seychelles to explain to other coral countries the work that you have done in debt restructuring, especially on debt to environment swaps. So this is an area where Seychelles have more experience than other islands. I feel that it is for the benefit of all the islands, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Seychelles, Mauritius, La Réunion, Comoros, when we are linked together and when we are working with each other. And I'm sure with your government we can achieve that.
The Industrial Estates Authority will soon start a penalty waiver campaign from the 1st to the 31st of August this year. The authority will waive a 10% charge for late payment if debtors settle all their accumulated debts in full. The CEO of the authority, Roy Coley, says that this campaign is to benefit or advantage to the lessees and businesses within the industrial estate to pay their debts without penalty.
This is a benefit that we are passing on to all lessees, and we are urging them to take advantage of this campaign to reduce their debts. As you know, we have over the years accumulated over 30 million rupees worth of debt before 2020. And we've managed to reduce the debt up to 14 million. So this campaign is to ensure that we call upon the lessees to come forward to pay their arrears, and with the aim that IEA reduces this 14 million arrears, and so that we can lower the arrears before the end of the year 2022. So again, we're making an appeal to all lessees, to all businesses to come forward, to come and see Julissa, have a conversation with her on how best they can reduce their arrears.
A panel of 3 justices coming from abroad will be appointed soon to rehear the appeal by VJ Construction Company Limited against the decision of the Supreme Court Judge Helen Carolus in the case against Eastern European Engineering Limited EEL in relation to the construction of a Savoy Hotel at Beauvalon. Judge Fiona Robinson from the Court of Appeal made the announcement this afternoon while delivering her decision on an application filed by VJ Construction Company Limited for the non-execution of a judgment by Judge Carolus for it to pay EEL around 20 million euros as compensation for breaching clauses of contracts for the construction of the hotel. Judge Robinson ruled in favor of the application in view that the Supreme Court judgment will be reheard. However, she said that meanwhile, some of the court's orders remain effective against the VJ Construction Company Limited regarding its frozen accounts. Government has signed 49 bilateral and legal instruments and 4 multilateral agreements since 2020. It has also finalized negotiations on 14 other agreements that are awaiting signatories. The Minister for Foreign Affairs and Tourism, Sylvestre Radegonde, gave these answers to a question from Plaisance MNA Richard Labrousse on how many such agreements have been signed and what are the sectors that will benefit from them. Minister Radegonde adds that these agreements are not just to establish collaboration in several sectors, but also to increase and consolidate cooperation and exchanges between Seychelles and its foreign partners. And that's it for the news summary. We'll be back at 8 for the Creole News Bulletin. Bye-bye for now.